After two National Guardsmen were shot in D.C. by an Afghani national with ties to the CIA, Pam Bondi announced that the National Guard will be flooding as many cities as possible. Take a look.
And yes, we are bringing in our National Guard to every city we possibly can. Who needs our help?
What is a false flag? Yes. I'll take kids died in the Moderna trial for $500, Alex. Good evening and welcome to We Lie to You News. We'd like to give a special warm welcome to all of our viewers out there who are enrolled in the MK Ultra program. We know who you are, but you don't. But we'll look forward to reporting on what you're about to do in a lead story soon enough. But in the meantime, our top stories tonight. Zelensky may soon be fleeing from Ukraine, trying to avoid getting caught for crimes. Netanyahu's on trial, and kids died in a jab trial, but who cares? More on that in a minute. But first, here's the son of China's richest man eating at a restaurant, having two servants feed him like a baby. Now, he did use his own hand to drink out of his cup, so I guess his dad's not that rich. But we look forward to seeing what kind of great contributions come from this very young, trans-looking Nepo baby in the future.
Retard.
Oh, certainly is, Tucker. Kinda gay, too. In other news, Zelensky might soon be fleeing from Ukraine. Why? There has been a major corruption scandal where Zelensky's chief of staff had his office raided over the weekend and was forced to resign over a $100 million embezzlement allegation. For more on that, here's a lady with an obnoxiously pretentious accent.
Ukraine has been caught up in this damaging corruption scandal. Anti-corruption agencies have been talking about how they believe that some of President Zelensky's close associates could be involved in some kind of plot.
Yes, all his closest associates, but not Zelensky himself, we're sure. But some do suspect that Zelensky was involved. Some even believe that Zelensky suspects that he himself was involved and may choose to flee the country to avoid prosecution. For more on that, here's former Pentagon advisor Douglas McGregor. Take it away, Doug.
I think there are preparations to fly Zelensky and much of his inner circle to Israel, where they have immunity against extradition for criminal proceedings, and that's what they're going to need when they finish up in Ukraine.
That's just hard to believe, because Zelensky has been an absolute hero and inspiration and really a
retard.
Well, yeah, but now he'll potentially be fleeing to Israel where there is no corruption, and that would give him a nice, wholesome opportunity to find the Lord and turn his life around. And in other news out of Israel, Netanyahu has filed a request with the president of Israel to end his corruption trial in the name of national interests. Now, as an American, you might be thinking, I thought Netanyahu was the president of Israel. Nope. He is the prime minister, and apparently Israel has a president too. And instead of having to stand trial for corruption, Netanyahu seeks to eliminate the due process aspect of the legal system. Which, if I may say so, is a nice tip of the hat to the world, which says, we definitely don't do corruption here. Take a look.
The criminal trial against Benjamin Netanyahu started 5.5 years ago, and it's still going on now. He's accused of bribery, fraud and breach of trust. Now he's asking for it to be shut down, for him to receive a pardon before he's even been convicted. It's an unprecedented request.
And President Trump even got on the bandwagon, urging Israel's president to pardon Netanyahu.
I have an idea. Mr. President, why don't you give him a pardon? Give him a pardon.
Well, golly, why would Trump do that?
President Trump does what he does because he decides what's in America's best interest.
Now, I believe that's Netanyahu telling Americans how to interpret the words of the President of the United States in order to dissuade Americans from thinking that Netanyahu has undue influence over the U.S. But he just did that out in the open. What are we doing? Look, God's chosen dude just works in mysterious ways that are mostly obvious. But here's wishing Netanyahu to a speedy end to his trial so he doesn't have to be slowed down by justice and accountability. Any thoughts, Tucker?
Retard.
Very good. Now, in heartwarming pediatric news, some great parents had their kids take part in a Moderna trial so that their kids could be safe and protected from something that isn't really that harmful to kids, and one of the kids died. But because hearing about the deaths of children is kind of a bummer, Moderna and the FDA did their very best to hide that information in order to protect the public from being sad. And we thank them for looking out for the best interests of the public in that whole thing. And we'd also like to publicly endorse and commend those great parents for—
Retard.
Tucker, you're kind of messing with our old sponsorship livelihood thing here, buddy. Get your boosters, just buy a casket, whatever. That's it for today's news. Don't ask any questions. God, this is so stressful. I don't know about you, but I'm someone who cares about having good energy throughout the day and a strong, functioning, healthy body. And that means that fatigue, junk food cravings, slow metabolism, and nutrient deficiencies are my #1 enemy. And the best way to remove those enemies is with one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, grass-fed beef liver. But my problem with that had always been convenience. I don't have the time to make liver every day. Plus, I don't really like the taste of it. But luckily, I learned how to solve that problem with Ancestral Supplements grass-fed beef liver. It's an easy, convenient, and potent way to bring nature's multivitamin into your everyday nutrition. It keeps my energy high, mental clarity sharp, metabolism fast, and my cravings for crap non-existent. A lot of people suffer with their metabolism and body shape because they have so many junk food cravings. But what they don't realize is a lot of cravings are actually just driven by nutrient deficiencies, and grass-fed beef liver takes care of that. If you want to quickly and easily bring one of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet into your life, grab your grass-fed beef liver at ancestralsupplements.com/awaken. And for 15% off, use the discount code AWAKEN. Enjoy.